past Dane County Clerk and Mentor Bob Olson could come up.
Bob was attending a funeral. He had a wake to go to at 4 o'clock up in Baraboo, so he wasn't sure if he was going to make it back, but he's sure we're going out for lunch sometime, so if you want to join us.
Election Commission Administrator Michael Haas.
I'm being forewarned that Diane always gets the last word. It's nice to be here. My name is Michael Haas. I'm the administrator of the Wisconsin Elections Commission, an agency which is almost 1 year old. A state elections agency. I did grow up here in Sun Prairie. It's great to be here. You probably get tired of hearing this, but the city has sure grown up. I went out east for school and worked a few of the major East Coast cities and found my way back to Wisconsin, eventually working as an attorney in Milton. So I have another connection to Diane's successor. Early, I was the municipal city attorney for the city of Milton for about 10 years. My parents still live here in Sun Prairie. I grew up in what at the time was, we thought, the center of town. I always am careful when talking to Diane. She knows her voters, so she knows where my parents live. But now I have found my way back. I live 8 miles down the road, right outside of Metropolitan Marshall. So I wanted to, in the suburbs. I have a short letter to read, but I wanted to first make a few other comments and just shout out and introduce a few members of our staff who've joined me here. Megan Wolf, our assistant administrator, Diane Lowe, and Jody May.
Is Diane under the table because she's not on stage?
And Jody Kitts just walked in, a former member of our agency, also worked for Diane at the city. Former member of the Government Accountability Board staff, Barbara Hansen. And finally, many of you also may know, mentor of ours, the chief election official for Wisconsin for over 35 years, Kevin Kennedy, is here. So before I read this letter, I just want to take a minute really to acknowledge the special role of municipal clerks in Wisconsin. And I know we have some here. How many municipal clerks do we have? Thank you all for being here. You can tell they're all so happy. There's no election coming up. We have been keeping them busy recently. So besides clerks and our staff, there's probably not a lot of people in the room that realize that Wisconsin has 1,853 municipal clerks. That's how many municipalities there are in the state of Wisconsin. And each one runs its own elections. We are fond of quoting a couple of statistics. 2/3 of those clerks work part-time. For many, it's not their primary job. And on average, 25% of those turn over every year. And you think of how complex elections have become. It's a huge task to keep up on what has to be done for those clerks themselves and to train their election workers. I have to ask if there are any, did you invite any members of the city council?
Yes.
Any current and former mayors and members of the city council of Sun Prairie? If you could stand up, please. I want to both thank you and commiserate with you. As you know, you have had a gem in Diane for a long time. I do want to tell you that she has shared with me often how much she has appreciated the support of the governing body over the years as far as elections go in Sun Prairie. And I can tell you that's not always the case. If additional funding is needed for additional election workers, additional polling places, sometimes that can be an issue at the local level. The reason I want to commiserate with you is because I'm sure you have heard this from Diane. Elections are not all that we do as clerks. Tell me if you've heard that one before. Clerks have many, many hats to wear, many responsibilities, and elections are only one of them. So with that, let me just get right to the letter here. Dear Diane, on behalf of the Wisconsin Elections Commission and its staff, I want to thank you and congratulate you for your work and accomplishments as you retire from service as Sun Prairie City Clerk. We know that municipal clerks wear many different hats in serving the public, and we appreciate your efforts to ensure that Wisconsin's elections are open, fair, and accurate. You have built a strong and comprehensive structure for conducting elections and serving candidates and voters over the years. With the support of your staff, mayors, and city council members, and cooperation of other city departments, you have implemented consistent and innovative procedures and training for election inspectors. You always manage to coordinate the many moving parts that must come together for a successful election day. And you have accomplished all of that while adjusting to the requirements of many significant changes in both federal and state election laws. We also appreciate your leadership in the area of elections on a statewide level. You offered your expertise and mentorship to your colleagues. You served as a certified clerk trainer and a member of the Wisconsin Elections Administration Council. In your role as president of the Wisconsin Municipal Clerks Association, you provided valuable feedback and input to both the state elections agency and the state legislature regarding the practical implementation of proposed legislation or legislation which has been enacted. And I would add, Diane has not been shy to share that feedback, whether we asked for it or not. That is often another trait of a successful clerk. I will say, I know I was told today my staff was looking for some prior emails and quotes from Diane and advised me that many of them I could not share tonight. But people who challenge us and ask us questions make us better, right? What kills us does not kill us, makes us stronger. I do need to pass along, Diane, I'm not sure if you're aware that some in our office have given you a nickname over the years. Are you aware? No. You have heard the reference to DHB. Well, the nickname, I'm told, the rumor is Notorious DHB. I'm also told that means something to the kids in the hip club. Maybe your high school students would know that. That is not in the letter, that's just... Your career has spanned... Your career has spanned major changes to the way we conduct elections in Wisconsin due to changes in the laws and the technology and resources dedicated to elections and the expectations that voters have to participate in elections and in the increased interest of the media and the public in the details of everything related to elections and voting. You have survived the monotony of low turnout elections and the pressure of highly charged elections. And we heard earlier that Diane has led 99 elections in her career. You know, at the state, we love recounts. And so we've taken a look and we've decided to round it up to 100. In both of those situations, you've maintained the public's confidence that each eligible individual could vote and that each ballot cast would be counted accurately and fairly. In that way, you have been both a model for and a representative of municipal clerks throughout Wisconsin who are trusted and charged with administering the basic tools of our democracy. Diane, I want to personally thank you for your support of my career in elections over the last 9 years. We as an agency appreciate your partnership with the Wisconsin Election Commission and our staff and our predecessor agencies. Congratulations, thank you for all that you've done on behalf of Sun Prairie residents and the state of Wisconsin, and we wish you the best of luck in your retirement.
I'm not going to say anything too bad about Mike, but Mike used to work for Sun Prairie Park and Rec. Yeah. To the Election Commission staff, I have a picture of Mike when he was how old? Teenager-ish? 20?
16, 17, 18.
Wearing short shorts. If you want to see it, just send me an email on an open records request. I can get that to you.
I'll be sneaking out the side door.
I am going to Key West. I do need some money, Mike. So if you want the original.